ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाख्य चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुक्तपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथानितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं राधाकृष्णन् पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखानितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिण हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो महावदनाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरती से नम। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So today, like as usual, we have a wonderful day and we are in the Bhagavad Gita class and we are end of this most confidence and knowledge chapter 9, text 34 is very important that we are going to discuss today. Yeah, I got this message, so I am just yes, that is nice that several speakers are there, should be. Yeah. So manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mang namoskuru mame vaisyasi yukteva Mahatmanam matparayana. Word meaning: Matmana, always think of me. Bhava, become. Mat, my. Bhakta, devotee. Mat, my. Yaji, worshipper. Mam, unto me. Namaskuru, offer obeisances. Mam, unto me. Eva, completely. Esyasi, you will come. Yuktva, being absorbed. Evam, thus. Atmanam, your soul. Mat parayanaha, devoted to me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace His Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Please repeat. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Purport. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. Sometimes unscrupulous commentators distort the meaning of what is clearly stated here, that all devotional service should be offered to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Krishna. Unfortunately, unscrupulous commentators divert the mind of the readers to that which is not at all visible. Such commentators do not know that there is no difference between Krishna's mind and Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is absolute truth. His body, his mind, and he himself are one and absolute. He is stated in the Kurma Purana, as it is quoted by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami in his Anubhasya commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita, 5th chapter, Adi Lila, verse 41 to 48. Deha dehi vivedo yam nyasvare vidyate kvachit. This means that there is no difference in Krishna, the Supreme Lord, between himself and his body. But because the commentators do not know the signs of Krishna, they hide Krishna and they divide his personality from his mind or from his body. Although this is sheer ignorance of the signs of the Krishna, some men makes profit out of misleading people. There are some who are demoniac. They also think of Krishna, but enviously. Just like King Kamsa, Krishna's uncle, he was also thinking of King Krishna always, but he thought of Krishna as his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. That kind of the killing will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love, that is bhakti. One should cultivate the knowledge of the Krishna continuously. What is the favorable cultivation? It is to learn from a bona fide teacher. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, and we have several times explained that his body is not material but is eternal, blissful knowledge. This kind of talk about Krishna will help one become a devotee. Understanding Krishna otherwise from the wrong source will prove fruitless. One should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, which conviction in his heart that Krishna is the Supreme. He should engage himself in worship. There are hundreds of thousands of temples in India for the worship of the Krishna, and devotional service is practiced here, practiced there. When such practice is made, one has to offer obeisances to Krishna. One should lower his head before the deity and engage his mind, his body, his activities, everything that will make one fully absorbed in Krishna without deviation. This will help one transfer to Krishna Loka. One should not be deviated by unscrupulous commentators. One must engage in the 9 different processes of the devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting about Krishna. Pure devotional service is the highest achievement of the human society. The 7th and the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita have explained pure devotional service to the Lord, that is free from speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and fruitive activities. Those who are not purely sanctified may be attracted by different features of the Lord, like the impersonal Brahmajyoti, localized Paramatma, but a pure devotee directly takes to the service of the Supreme Lord. There is a beautiful poem about Krishna in which it is clearly stated that any person who is engaged in the worship of the demigods is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of the Krishna. The devotee in the beginning may sometimes fall from the standard, but still he should be considered superior to all other philosophers and yogis. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be a perfectly saintly person. His accidental non-devotional activities will diminish and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. The pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down because the Supreme Godhead personally takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. He will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the most confidential knowledge. Hare Krishna. Long purport. So here this is the last text of this chapter. Actually, this is the middle sloka of the whole Bhagavad Gita, and it is a very famous sloka. Everyone know this very well, and there are several commentators are there and several acharyas. They wrote a lot of about this, particularly this text. And the Lord is also mentioning this same text, repeated this in twice in the 18th chapter also. So it is a very important. We can discuss few things. Like last time, we had a discussion that, especially particularly this chapter, several divisions are there, and this is going this text is 4th division, which is the glories of the devotional service to Krishna. That's here we can see the explanation. Glories, all Krishna and all his glories. So what is Krishna and how Krishna is merciful, these are. Especially in this last section, which is from 26 to 34, we can see that how this is divided. This is especially in this last 4th section is divided into 3. One is pure devotional service, and which is from 26 to 28. That deals with pure devotional service, like Patram Puspam Phalam Toyam. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or a water, I will accept it. The Lord is explaining in a nice way that how it is easy to approach. Then on 27 we can see that Yad Karosi Yad Asnasi, that text. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. And then on 28, the text is, the translation is, in this way you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me, in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. The Lord is explaining in a very, very polite and very nice way and very clear way. There is no complicacy here. Anyone can accept this thing and he can approach the Lord. So this is the first section, and then the Krishna shows favoritism to his devotee from text number 29 to 31. So here we can see that how he is giving favor towards his devotees. Like, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me, that means his devotee, in devotion, is friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So these are completely, he is siding towards his devotees. He is completely full support towards his devotees. And 30 number text we can see that even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determinations. Because his determination are Krishna, to achieve the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. So, and another one text also we can see in this same line that Kripram bhavati dharmatma, this text. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace, O son of Kunti. Declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. He is saying, this is very important text. He is saying that how we can see that he is giving a full support, full help to his devotees, that my devotee, whatever he will do, is completely full, no sinful activity will come towards him. So, especially in this text, we can see that how he is saying that Arjuna, just declare this word. Krishna may declare that, Krishna can, but why he is saying that? He is saying Arjuna to declare it, because sometimes the Lord break the rule and regulations what he is prescribing. But if his devotee make a rules and declare something, then he is vowed to keep that one also, the Lord. So due to that reason, he is saying Arjuna, just declare that. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace, O son of the Kunti. Declare it boldly. So these are the section that Krishna shows favoritism to his devotees. Then this last part of this section, fourth, is that devotional service purifies all. Devotional service purifies all. Here it is showing that how devotional work, when we are doing then activities, then it purifies. Even here in 32 text number we can see that, O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of the lower birth, O men, Vaisya and Sudra, can attain the supreme destination. Because this devotional line is so strong that it purifies anyone. So here, the lower born, they are also purifying themselves, they are showing. Then in 33, how much more this is so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engages in the loving service unto me. And on the 34th, today's verse, we can see that, engage your mind always in thinking of me. 4 processes he is explaining. How simple these 4 processes are. Very simple. One is, engage your mind always of thinking to Lord Krishna. Become his devotee, offer obeisances to him and worship him. Only 4. Being completely absorbed by all these processes, then what will be the result? Surely you will come back to me. The Lord is saying that. Very easy, very simple process, no austerity, nothing. You don't have to go for the jungle for the tapasya or forest for living your family, household lives and all the so-called modern science things, whatever we are using, no need to, we'll have to go and leave these things. We just have to engage these things and we'll have to engage our minds, that's only, on the lotus feet of the Krishna. So, here we can little more things we will see, how the things are. From Bhurijan Prabhu's book, we can read one para, that in Bhagavad Gita 18.64, just before these essential verses, Krishna states that Sarva Guhya Tamam Bhuyam Srunu Me Paramam Vacha. I am speaking my supreme instructions, the most confidential knowledge of all. Sarva Guhya Tamam means, the Lord is explaining in the same, he is repeating on the chapter 18, the same text, and because so important this text, and before explaining he is saying that I am going to explain you a most important and secret this mantra, and thus to how to achieve me, and he then explaining this text. Krishna speaks the verse here in chapter 9 and again as text 18.65. Krishna also clearly says that these verse 18.65 and 66 are the most confidential knowledge of all and are his supreme instructions. Especially in the 18th chapter, we can see that another verse is there, Sarvadharman Paritejyam Mamekam Saranam Braja. That is also a very important text, verse, but here these two are considered to be most confidential, but the Lord is explaining this thing, means this is the most we can consider this is the confidence one, and this is the most important sloka. And then we can see that how this text is divided into, and the Prabhupada on his purport, he is explaining by giving purport to this particular text. Prabhupada saying few important points that how to engage one's mind, and then Srila Prabhupada how he is saying about the unscrupulous commentators, and then the demoniac mentality, personality and their ideas also we can see in this text. Then what is the real bhakti defined based on the correct understanding, that also we can see in this verse also. So here we can see these four processes. Manmana bhava madbhakto majjaji mang namaskuru. Manmana bhava means just before that starting just one more point, that how the Lord, this is a very similar verse like in this text 1 and the last this particular Manmana bhava, that text 34, they both are same in this chapter, almost similar type. Similar in the way here the Lord in the chapter first verse he is explaining that saying that how I am just explaining you the most secret of this most secret point which one has to be understood, and that is this Manmana bhava madbhakto. And then he is also explaining one more point on the text 1, that those who are jealous and envious people, this knowledge is not for them, because particularly in this text we can see that how he is saying Manmana bhava madbhakto 4 times more. He is saying 4 times me, unto me, and 2 times he is also saying that mam, me and or mine, this type of words. So these are the points that it is create envy on those who are not surrendered to Lord Krishna and those who are not devoted to Krishna. So the Lord is saying that first you understand the signs in this whole chapter from the text number 2 to text number 33. He is explaining all the signs of how we can understand and how we can surrender our mind to the Lord's lotus feet. He is explaining, and then in the end he is saying this very important sloka. So here we can go further a little more about these 4 points, that how Manmana bhava. Usually we can see that there is 3 types of servant or 3 types of the disciples are there. Some are they can understand the Lord, some understand the Guru or Lord's ideology and concept, and without his explanation, they do that in a perfect way that the Guru is very much pleased on him. Few are there, they need to instruct, do this, do that, then they are ready to do that. Before that, they are not understand what is the ideas of the superior. And another group is there, servant, those though they are not much interested whether the Guru is telling, saying something to do, or the Lord's instruction to follow that, they are not much interested about that. So, and we can see that here how on our line also the Acharyas like Rupa Goswami, he understood the idea of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he wrote several books, and he came here in the Braj, he revealed these secrets of Radharani and Krishna's pastimes. So, Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale. So in his Pranam Mantra you can see that Rupa Goswami, how he is understanding the superior or Chaitanya Lord's what his will, that he understand, Rupa Goswami especially. So all our acharyas, they are very much expert because they are very much dedicated towards their Guru. Like our Prabhupada, he understood Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his Guru's mission, idea and what to do. By his blessing, when one understands the Guru's views, ideas, points, then it is very easy for them to walk on this path of Krishna consciousness, because they are getting the blessings from the superiors. Like we can see that in this Manmana Bhava part also, that how the gopis are the topmost of the devotees, and they are coming under this type of points, because though this is the topmost, the Manmana Bhava, so the gopis, they are very much expert in understanding the Lord's how to serve the Lord, they are very much expert. So the gopi and the Brajvasis, they are coming under this. Then after this, then Mad Bhakto. If one is not much understanding about the Lord's what he is saying, then we'll have to simply be the devotee of the Lord, Mad Bhakto. Here in the Bhagavatam we can see that Bhagavatam 4th, 29 and 49, that though you do not know that devotional service is the only way one can please the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. You cannot understand this fact. Your only activities should be those that can please the Personality of the Godhead. Our education should be such that we can become elevated to Krishna consciousness. So here we can see that how the Lord is explaining how to be bhakta, devotee of his, because when he is getting his knowledge, then we will come under the section of bhakta, because to be a bhakta we must have to understand the knowledge, we must have this knowledge of complete knowledge of the Lord, either complete or partial, whatever, we must have to be the knowledge of the Lord, then we'll understand him. The topmost bhakta and devotee is obviously Radharani, no one is there. Several are there, but the topmost is Radharani. There is a story come how Krishna's lotus feet is always on Radharani's heart. So once Rukmani, she gave some hot milk to Radharani, and then in the night time when came to massage the Lord's lotus feet, he saw some burning spots, and then she told that, "Hey Lord, how this happened?" So the Lord told that, "You gave hot milk to Radharani, and she was very dear to me. And my lotus feet always resides in his heart. She always thinking my lotus feet. So due to that reason, my lotus feet was burned." So these are the very nice explanation of how Brajavasis, Gopi, especially the Radharani, are very dear to the Lord. Then Majjaji worship me. So this is a nice process of how we will have to worship the Lord, because in this age of the Kali, there is no other processes are there except the Sankirtan Yajna. The process is Sankirtan. If we do the Harinam Sankirtan, then automatically the worship part will fulfill. So here we can see that how powerful this Harinam Sankirtan, because we are doing all over the world. Now everywhere, almost all part of the world, we are trying our best to the Harinam Kirtan in high society or in low society or any part of the world, like the Africa or in the Middle East area. So the Harinam is so strong that it attracts anyone, and it not only attracts, it creates or awakens anyone's dormant Krishna consciousness. So it is so powerful. So though we are from the ISKCON devotees, and though we are from followers of this Acharyas, Gaudiya Acharyas line, so our prime service is to, as much as we can, propagate on our ability. So here we can see that how Lord Sri Krishna is in this age of Kali in the form of name. So Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that Kali Kale Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the incarnation of Lord Krishna for this age of the Kali. Because we are suffering, we are traveling from one body to another since time immemorial. Just we are moving from on this whole universe, planetary systems, getting one body, then another body. 8,400,000 species we are traveling. These all are machine, one machine by another machine. We are traveling through this machine, and we are suffering. But Brahmande Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Kipaya Pai Bhakti Latar Bij. Then by blessing of Guru or Krishna, we are getting the idea, the key to Golok Vrindavan. Like here the Lord is explaining that Manmana Bhav Madhbhakto Majaj Mang Namaskuru. 4 ideas he is giving, 4 points he is giving. He is giving key that how we can go back to Godhead. Then the point here we can see, the last point is Namaskuru. How we'll have to obeisance him. Here also in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, there is an explanation. It's coming in the verse 10th, 8th verse of this 14th chapter, that my dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, word and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. If someone is offering namaskar or obeisances, automatically he will freed. Bhagavatam is saying that. Also the famous text of Bhagavatam, we can see the last text that Nam Sankirtana Yasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Hari, the congregational chanting of whose holy names destroys all sinful reactions, and the offering of obeisances unto whom relieves all material suffering. Such a nicely this explanation for this Mam Namaskuru, we can see that how in the last verse of this Bhagavatam is explaining clearly. We will have to just offer namaskar, offer pranam to the Lord, and we will have to chant the Lord's name. That's the only thing that it is easy for us to deliver from this material world. Here regarding pranam, we can see little more that how there are 6 types of pranams are there usually, as we know. From the Abhinandan, there is Abhinandan, the word by folded hand, bending forward with the folded hand, that is known as Abhinandan. Then above to that, the slowly surrounding points are coming, just see. Then the Namaskar, the word. The Namaskar is that folded hands touching the forehead. This is another more common forms of the situation and the greetings expressed between the people. Usually little higher surroundings we can see that. Then the Dandavat, bowing forehead down and touching the ground. Then the Panchanga, touching the ground with knees, chest and chin and in temple. So this is known as Panchanga. Then Sasthanga, then the Ashtanga are there. So several types of pranams are there. This shows the surrounding process, how the more this bodily surrounding, outside surrounding, the Ashtanga pranam is there, which the devotee usually they do. So here we can see how nicely the Lord is explaining, and he is giving explanation of these processes. Little more here we can see regarding the purports, that in this purport also the engage in his eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, that usually several says that few outsiders are there, those don't know about the Lord, and actually they have jealousy on their heart. So they don't want to understand the Lord. They think the Lord is different from his body and his mind. And they explain on their commentary to others too, which is here on this purport we can see that Prabhupada is saying how, and they are confusing the common people. So our duty is that we should have to be very much expert in reading all Prabhupada's book and explain this to those who don't know this. But now by Prabhupada's mercy and by Chaitanya's blessing, all over the world several people are joining this movement. So our duty is that to how nicely we can keep them. That is our prime point. That should be our prime focus, because several new persons are coming. Here one point also coming, there are some who are demoniac. They also think of Krishna but enviously. There is this, they are thinking of Krishna but enviously, like Kamsa, also Ravana is there also. So like this, they are thinking the Lord in different way, in negative way, but they are known as demoniac people. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. Kamsa's situation was like this. That kind of thinking will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love. So we have to be think Krishna in devotion and love. So we are coming to Mangalarti, taking prasadam, we are getting devotees, we are expressing our love towards devotee, and we are asking several our queries to the devotees. All whatever we are doing in the love. So due to that reason, we are progressing in the devotional path. Or if we will not do this in a love and affection, and if we will have enviness towards other devotee too, then we will never progress, and automatically we will destroy and will vanish from the devotional path, because that ego and enviness will be there, and due to that reason we came in this material world. And if this will be there like Kamsa, then it is very difficult for us to be continuing this devotional path. So here, this is a beautiful poem about Krishna, in which it is clearly stated that the person who is engaged in the worship of the demigods is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of the Krishna, the devotees. Here in Bhagavad Gita, also you can see that how it is condemned that those who are worshipping or the demigods or asking something to the demigods, how they are less intelligent. Here we can see that. But because they are getting whatever things they are assigned for, they are getting from the Lord. And the Lord is providing them. Suppose we need rain, suppose we need sunlight, suppose we need whatever thing. That is given by the Lord to them. And from there we are getting. So if you will directly connect with Lord, the Lord will provide, the Lord will give us through them, but that is in a different way. Because suppose, like we can see that here in this system, that suppose we are going to meet with the Prime Minister and we have good relation with the Prime Minister. So he will do whatever work through them, but in a different way. That vision will be different. So like this, the demigods will fulfill our needs, but in a different way, in a very humble and submissive way they will do for the devotees, because devotees are person of the Lord. So due to that reason, those who are devoted mentality, those who are surrendering mentalities towards the Lord, they are automatically free from these clutches of the Maya, and all the devatas and the provider of the material things, automatically they will provide it to the devotees. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be perfectly saintly person. His accidental, non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. So here, very important one point we can see that if someone is doing the devotional activities and the Lord's surrendering to the lotus feet of the Lord, then the Lord automatically taking care of all his activities, whether that is pious or unpious, whatever, sinful activities or whatever activities, he usually take care. Because the Lord is saying, mentioning several times in the Bhagavad Gita how He is taking care of His devotees. So, that not mean that we'll have to do the sinful activities, but by chance, if we'll do by mistake or by due to other reason, so the Lord is protecting us. Lord Narasimhadev is there to protecting us. Several Lord is there to protect us. We can see in the Bhagavatam and the stories are there. So due to that reason, we have to very much cautious to not do these activities. If by chance it is coming in the line, so we should not have to fear this, and we should have to continue this devotional line, on this devotional line. So, yes, here nothing much is there from my side. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of the Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. Happily he will live in the material world. He will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. Also he will receive the supreme award from Krishna also. So what is that supreme award? That is, oh, surely you will come to me. That the Lord is saying, he will come back to the Lord's abode where there is no misery, nothing is there. No kuntha, Vaikuntha, that is, no kuntha is there. But here in this material world we are suffering. But the Lord is saying that, Prabhupada in his purport is explaining that by ourselves here in this material world, we will be like the lotus leaf in the water in the lotus leaf. So we'll live our life like that. And at the end, the Lord will award His planet, His place. He will provide us where the devotee can play with the Lord and where he can do all his spiritual activities, and he will be happy and in Paramananda, not happy in Paramananda, in Ananda. Happy and Ananda is different. In bliss he will be. Hare Krishna. Any question or comments? If you have any correction? Yes, Prabhu.
In devotional services, there are 9 processes, and each one of them has the potency to bring you to the platform of complete absorption. So I wonder, in this particular verse, why Krishna is talking about 4 different things. And in this age of Kali Yuga, if somebody is in Sankirtan, all these 4 things are automatically taken care of. You don't need any separate endeavor for remembering Krishna, for worshipping Krishna, for thinking of Krishna. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. Actually, Prabhuji, this scripture, whatever there, the points are, this is sometimes based on the conscience of the devotees, in which conscience they are and on which conscience they are fit for which purpose. If somebody is doing the Sankirtan Yajna, that is topmost thing, and automatically this thing will follow. That the Lord is clearing up all these things. Because in the explanation to this text, we can see that Prabhupada is saying that who will engage his mind to the Lord? Those who is a devotee, he will engage his mind to the Lord. It is not easy to those who are not devotee engage their mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. It is not so easy to them to engage their mind on that. So that means vice versa. He must, those who are in a devotee, they will surrender there and they will come under these processes. The Lord is explaining, elaborating in different the same thing, but serving in a different model these things. The same surrenderingness is describing here, but in a different processes. If you are thinking of me, okay. If you are not thinking, then you can just offer puja to me, or you just offer dandavat to me, no problem, I will happy. That he is giving on his level of consciousness. If few are there, it is very hard for them to understand the Lord's mind. So it is the topmost and highest thing. So okay, no problem. You just go for the base level, and that is offer pranam to me. Just that will be, I will be happy and I will sanction you. So automatically that will lead to the Sankirtan Yajna, and Sankirtan Yajna, when one is in the Sankirtan, automatically he will come under these things. Those we can see that those who are not devotee, if they will come, they like the Sankirtan chanting the devotees, they also dance, they also they got the feeling of the Lord's feeling when they saw the Lord during the Kirtan's time. Automatically that is coming, that will come. So the both are same, but in a different representation these things are. As my idea and understanding, I can explain this one. Yes, Paul.
In the purport, last purport we read, therefore the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. The previous verse, 33, Anityam Asukam Lokam. In this material world there are a classification of people. After all, this world is not a happy place for everyone. Happy place for anyone. It is clearly stated here, Anityam Asukam Lokam. This world is temporary and full of miseries, not habitat for any saint gentleman. These two statements entirely contradict. What's your understanding?
Prabhuji, actually, I think both are correct in both places, because this place is not a for the good people and gentlemen. This place is not for them. And Anityam Asukham Lokam, and we should have to get out of this material world as soon as possible. But the Lord is giving a guarantee, until you are there, don't worry about that. Because I am there with you, and if you by chance do some mistakes or whatever thing will be there, don't worry about that. I will take care of you that thing. And because these things will come, and because this material world is not for good person. So due to that reason, the Lord is giving a assurance that that we will not afraid of this, because we must have to be here until the body is there, and we cannot quit the body untimingly. We cannot suicide ourselves or from this material world go out of this material world. So that is not the process. So until we are there, we will live nicely, and the Lord is giving assurance. So my understanding will be like this.
As you just explained, that if one is worshipping demigods, and demigods also indirectly getting all these fulfillments from Lord himself. Lord is just providing all those things to the demigods, and then that percolates down to the devotee. That means that the person who is worshipping demigods, he too will reach Krishna's house as the people who are directly worshipping Krishna.
Yeah, they will also go to Krishna Loka, but in a different line, in a little difficult line, because their idea and their enjoyment is still there. Because those who are going through the demigods and worshipping the demigods, for their sense satisfaction they are doing. So due to that reason, they have usually the idea of enjoying mentality, enjoying propensity is there still. And when that will finish, they will surrender directly to the lotus feet of the Lord. And so due to that reason, those who are going through the demigods and those who are going through the direct to the Lord, so they have little different, because they understand that Lord is, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, and we will have to surrender to Him, and then we will go directly. And by this demigod line, if you will go, they are going by several mediums, by several bhaya. So due to that reason, it will take little time to reach them, and ultimately they will get understood. It will take some time to them.
How does it make difference if I am going to New York? My flight is of Air India, directly I am landing in New York. And if the flight is of some other, Gulf airline, that halts twice in one way, somewhere in Malaysia, other time in Tokyo, then again I will reach there, that it may take another day or 24 hours, 30 hours extra. And it doesn't make much difference.
Yeah. So like this. So this is the process that if we are worshipping the demigod, it will take some time. That will ultimately he will have to reach the same, because for reaching to the Vaikuntha planet or reaching to the Lord's planet, you must have to be reached to the Lord's lotus feet, and these are the processes. One is direct process, and another several few processes are indirect processes are there, and by if you will go through, then that will be culminated in one point, and you will have to go through the Lord. So that is the process. So that will take some time, but that is not recommended for the those who are intelligent. They are saying those who are intelligent, they will use the elevator to reach the highest to go to the highest stage. So this is yes.
Actually, the Lord has said demigods worshipper will go to the demigods loka, and ancestors devotee will go to an ancestor loka, and ghosts devotee will go to ghosts.
Yes,
but
yes.
My devotee will come to me.
To me.
Clear cut.
Yes, in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji's question is that whether they will go or not. They will go, suppose, but they will suffer in various way, and then they will reach there. It will say technically, but the ultimate entry point is Lord Krishna. We will have to surrender to the Lord Sri Krishna to enter into Krishna Loko planet. Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, I said these two slokas. Demigod worship, you stay in that along with them, but eventually your piety is, you come back here,
Yes.
again you might get the association of devotee, then you get back
Then,
to
exactly.
But otherwise, if you will come back again, you may be continuing this.
Yes.
Krishna says indirect way, it's not
Proper.
way of worship.
Lord words.
Indirectly you are worshiping. Obviously, sir.
Avidhi Purvakam.
Sir, actually, one thing is there actually, if devotee, one is is worshipping demigods. If he understands his real target is to achieve the liberation actually, then and only he can liberate actually. Otherwise not. Because the demigods are also the devotees of Lord Krishna actually. Their association means they are the performing devotion service only to liberate from this body. They must understand the uses of this body. Then they can liberate from this.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita ki, Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.